5950 for more details. Terms and conditions apply. Your story matters. ABSA.
For in-depth news coverage from across Zambia, local and national news, business, politics and sports, this is the Sun FM News, brought to you by ABSA. Your story matters.
The news.
Hello, to present the news here on Sun FM Radio and TV. My name is Imelda Chikwati. The headlines. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation has called for a collective and action-oriented approach to address global challenges. The World Bank has pledged support for government's efforts to position Livingstone as a hub of tourism, economic opportunity and cultural pride through the Green, Resilient and Transformational Tourism Development Project. Government has suspended operations at Chilanga-based China 11th Chemicals Construction Company Limited and 5 of its subcontractors for failing to comply with regulatory requirements under the labor policies. Lumwana Radiance Football Club has confirmed that head coach Bilton Musonda has been granted medical leave following the team's challenging start to the National League season.
The news. 88.5 Sun FM.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation has called for a collective and action-oriented approach to address global challenges. Permanent Secretary Etambuyu Gandasan urged Commonwealth member states to leverage their shared values and unity to address pressing global challenges. The PS was speaking at the 25th Commonwealth Foreign Affairs Ministers meeting held on the sidelines of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly at UN headquarters in New York. She delivered the remarks on behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mulambo Haimbe. Ms. Gandasan emphasized the need for a collective response to overlapping global shocks, including pandemics, climate-induced disasters and economic disruptions. The Permanent Secretary urged the Commonwealth Secretariat to prioritize support for early warning systems, social safety nets and responsive policy frameworks to ensure no member nation is left behind in times of crisis. She highlighted the persistent challenges of access to finance and fair trade, particularly for small states and least developed countries. Ms. Gandasan reaffirmed democratic governance as a core Commonwealth value, yet it remains under pressure in many regions. She called for continued support for free and fair elections, judicial independence, and anti-corruption efforts, enhanced engagement in conflict prevention and peace-building initiatives, protection of media freedom, and the defense of human rights, among others. The meeting emphasized the collective responsibility of nations in tackling global crises such as peace, climate change, and economic inequality. The ministers collectively advocated for an intensified commitment to multilateralism. The ministers reviewed progress made since the 2024 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Samoa and agreed on a clear roadmap for advancing the Commonwealth's mission until 2026 in Antigua and Barbuda. This is contained in a statement issued by Namatama Njekwa, First Secretary for Press and Public Relations at the Permanent Mission of Zambia to the United Nations. The World Bank has placed support for government's efforts to position Livingstone as a hub of tourism, economic opportunity and cultural pride through the Green Resilient and Transformational Tourism Development Project, TDP. World Bank Country Manager Akim Falk stated that revitalizing Livingstone is central to strengthening Zambia's tourism industry and delivering benefits to the broader Zambezi region and neighboring countries. Mr. Falk noted that the bank is working in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism, Livingstone City Council, the private sector, and other stakeholders to enhance the city's hospitality sector, attract investment, and foster an enabling environment for enterprise. He explained that the project aims to improve infrastructure, preserve cultural heritage, and upgrade public spaces.
The world, and our collective task is to strengthen Livingstone's rightful place as the leading tourism attraction in this region and a destination of global importance. For the benefits, of course, of Livingstone and its citizens. We also hope and expect that by further improving the attractiveness of Livingstone, we can generate positive spillover effects for tourism in Zambia overall and even beyond, across the Zambezi and other neighbors in the region. As a development institution, the World Bank Group is proud to partner with the government, the Ministry of Tourism, the City of Livingstone, as well as the private sector, communities, and other development partners to drive the vibrancy of Livingstone as part of this Green Resilience and Transformational Tourist Development Project, Great TDP.
And Tourism Minister Rodney Sikumba, who officiated at the launch, said the initiative forms part of government's broader growth and economic transformation for tourism development project, Great TDP, being implemented with World Bank support at a total cost of $100 million. Mr. Sikumba confirmed that Livingstone has been allocated $18 million under the program. The Livingstone Town Centre Development Program includes the rehabilitation of 8.3 kilometers of inner city roads, installation of 976 street lights, upgrading of traffic signals at key junctions, and targeted road repairs under LCC's force account mechanism. The minister emphasized that the success of the program depends on active participation from both the private sector and residents. He urged businesses to align their investments with the city's development vision and encouraged community involvement in maintaining public spaces.
And this particular project will run up to 2030, December of 2030, of which I believe, and I just want to put my colleague from the World Bank on the spot, that depending on how we consume the $100 million that we've received from the bank, we should be able to do a redraw based on the successes and also based on the results that will culminate out of this particular project that we've embarked on. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this particular project, I just want to reiterate, is broken into three significant pillars. Pillar number one focuses on enhancing the nature-based economy. I'm sure you've been hearing about sustainability. It's a buzzword today. And this particular project speaks to sustainability, ecotourism. And this can only be done through destination branding, streamlined licensing, and stronger institution and innovative financing like Nature Partnership Matching Grant Scheme.
Earlier, Livingstone Mayor Constance Muleabai described the initiative as a blueprint for sustainable progress aimed at enhancing the visitor experience while strengthening the capacity of local institutions. Ms. Muleabai encouraged entrepreneurs and tourism professionals to seize emerging opportunities to diversify offerings and extend the city's appeal.
The program we launched today is a blueprint for sustainable progress, enhancing mobility, public services, and the overall visitor experience. The initiative also empowers our local institutions with the tools and capacity to deliver more efficiently, setting a standard for other municipalities to emulate. It is our collective responsibility to ensure these gains are preserved and maximized for the benefit of all. Ladies and gentlemen, to our entrepreneurs and tourism professionals, I urge you to harness this opportunity to enrich our offerings and extend the city's appeal.
Government has suspended operations at Chilanga-based China 11th Chemicals Construction Company Limited and 5 of its subcontractors for failing to comply with regulatory requirements under the labor policies. Labor and Social Security Minister Brenda Tambatamba announced the suspension following an inspection of the company's premises, which revealed multiple violations. CNCEC has been fined 80,000 kwacha for operating without formal employment policies and failing to provide written contracts to its workers. Minister Tambatamba further disclosed that the company had not been contributing to the National Pension Scheme Authority (ABSA) on behalf of its employees in breach of statutory obligations. The inspection was part of a broader government initiative to assess compliance with labor laws and ensure the protection of workers' rights. We have a report.
As part of a ministry's mandate, Minister of Labour Brenda Tambatamba took an inspection at Lusaka's Chilanga China 11th Chemicals Construction Company Limited to check on levels of compliance to the labor laws. Mrs. Tambatamba was accompanied by Labour Service Commissioner Gives Mtengwa together with officers from her ministry. During the inspection, it was discovered that the firm does not contribute to the National Pension Scheme Authority (ABSA). Ms. Tambatamba also realized that there is no proper personal protective equipment (PPE) coupled with bad sanitation. Following this realization, government suspended operations at the company, fining it with 2 penalties of 80,000 kwacha for not following labor laws.
Room to represent themselves so that they are able to engage effectively with the people who work here. So find us at the ministry, at the programs, by any chance, by any means, obstruct the rule of law in your operations. Progressive agenda for industrialization, which is inspired by our 8th National Development Plan, which has a number of pillars, and the key pillars that we talk about within our sector is the economic transformation.
And Labour Commissioner Gives Mtekwa said that the conditions of the services were unfair.
There is no overtime. Employees are not paid overtime, and we are directing that employees must be paid their overtime, and this payment of overtime stretches over to the arrears too for the hours wages. And where the minister stated that was to ensure that we have no fatal accidents at places of work, so we cannot wait for accidents to happen. So before accidents happen, we must mitigate the situation by ensuring that no life is lost, no one is injured.
Meanwhile, China 11th Chemicals Construction Company Limited Human Resource Manager Lydia Mwashampota failed to provide any documents that concern the welfare of workers.
Situations where there are some difficult employees where they, and then we just say, okay, let it down, and then we have just be there to listen, and whatever I'm communicating to the employer, for example, for the employee, then we just there to say, okay, then you ask me, what I'm supposed to do, what according to the rules, supposed to do, something like that. It's just there to listen. The conversation.
This signed documents, this is assistant HR.
The ministry has embarked on a mass inspection if companies are operating within the set labor laws. Melinda Banda, Sun FM TV News, Chilanga District, Lusaka.
The Ministry of Mines and Mineral Development has announced that the ongoing nationwide high-resolution aerial geophysical survey is set to transform the mining sector by delivering precise geological data, attracting targeted investment, and curbing illegal mining activities. Mines and Minerals Development Minister Paul Kabuswe emphasized that the comprehensive survey conducted by Excalibur will usher in unprecedented transparency and investor opportunity. He noted that while Zambia has long been aware of untapped mineral deposits such as gold, the absence of detailed mapping has hindered their exploitation. The new data will officially reveal the country's full mineral endowment. Addressing the issue of artisanal and small-scale mining, Mr. Kabuswe reaffirmed government's commitment to formalization as the cornerstone for sector growth and safety. He also expressed a strong confidence in meeting the national target of producing 3 million tons of copper annually by 2031, attributing his optimism to concrete measures aimed at boosting brownfield investments. Echoing the minister's remarks, Victor Kabesha, president of the Emerald and Semi-Precious Stones Mining Association, highlighted that low production figures have historically stemmed from inadequate geological data and limited financing for small-scale miners. This is in a statement issued by Shamwinda Tembo, Principal Public Relations Officer. The opposition movement for change and equality has urged politicians to refrain from making empty promises ahead of the 2026 general elections without first understanding citizens' priorities. In an interview, party leader Kaluba Simuyemba stated that many political leaders failed to deliver on their pledges due to a lack of meaningful engagement with the communities. He emphasized that genuine grassroots consultation is essential to defining what development truly means to the people. Mr. Simuyemba advised politicians to avoid making public declarations without first engaging those they intend to serve. He also cautioned voters to be wary of candidates entering the election for personal gain and urged the electorate not to support individuals who have been absent or inactive in their communities.
The answers were just the same answers. Why? People of Zambia know what they want. The gap is the way leadership has been crafted, how we come to leadership, or how we choose leadership. That is where afresh, so that we can choose as the people desire. Without this prescription, you have to start with the process, then you come to content. Then content will also protect it. It is a symbiotic nature of doing things. Now, we are here not doing what we must do. And this speaks to only two things. It is called, we need pragmatic leaders who have got political will to do.
The police service has confirmed that there is no evidence of child trafficking in the case involving a 12-year-old girl who was reported missing and later located at the Mothers Without Borders orphanage in Lusaka West. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga stated that investigations revealed the girl had left her home following a domestic dispute and subsequently fabricated claims of abduction. Mr. Hamonga further clarified that blood tests conducted at the center were routine medical procedures and bore no connection to ritualistic practices. He added that the name Tasila Lungu was used informally as a nickname and held no official significance. The police spokesperson cautioned media outlets and the general public against disseminating unverified information, noting that such reports generate unnecessary public alarm. Mr. Hamonga also urged parents and guardians to take a more active role in safeguarding the welfare of their children. The Engineering Institution of Zambia, EIZ, has confirmed that engineers involved in the structural integrity assessments of a society business park are currently under review by the institution's disciplinary committee. EIZ President Engineer Wesley Kaluba stated that the disciplinary action follows a report commissioned by the National Pension Scheme Authority (NABSA), which raised concerns regarding the structural safety of pillars supporting the parking bay and top floor offices, excluding the main building. Appearing on Phoenix FM's Let the People Talk, Engineer Kaluba clarified that both the independent consultant and EIZ's internal report identified weaknesses in the structural pillars of the parking bay. However, neither report explicitly recommended demolition. Instead, they proposed strengthening the affected structures, with the final decision left to NABSA. He further noted that EIZ has advised NABSA to engage a qualified consultant to determine whether reinforcement or demolition would be the most appropriate course of action. The EIZ president has since emphasized that the reports were intended to offer technical guidance, not to mandate demolition.
In the structural integrity of the pillars at the Society Business Park. And at the time when we raised those concerns, I think, and we did a report at our own cost as EIZ, we paid a consultant who did the tests on all the pillars, and the report was sent to NABSA. At the time, NABSA did not accept that report, which is natural, so they engaged their own consultants to provide a report on the structural integrity of this park. And what the report was actually submitted last year, I think when the 62nd Engineering Council just came into office, a report which we've also got sight. And actually the report agreed with the earlier report submitted in 2019 by the EIZ, 2019-2020, thereabout.
This is the news on StarFM Radio and TV. For now, we take a break.
Win namamuli 1 million na ABSA. Play your cards right, Muntu Andy, and you could win big. Simply tap or swipe any of your ABSA cards 5 times in a month, and you could be one of 10 lucky winners to take home a cheap 10-pin in monthly prizes or walk away with a grand prize of 250,000 kwacha. Chaliroku, and you cannot afford to not get lucky. Use your ABSA card to enter the draw. Terms and conditions apply. Your story matters. ABSA.
In sports news, Lumana Radiance Football Club has confirmed that head coach Belton Musonda has been granted a medical leave and will travel to Lusaka for treatment following the team's challenging start to the National League season. In his absence, first assistant coach Alan Kamwanga will assume interim charge of the squad. The development follows a 2-0 home defeat to Makeni All-Stars, leaving the Solwezi-based side with just 1 win from 6 matches. The club has also recorded 2 draws and 3 losses, placing them 14th on the league table. The Radiants have scored only twice while conceding 5 goals, resulting in a negative goal difference of -5. With Kamwanga at the helm, the team will be aiming to revive their campaign and establish consistency in performance. The club's recent struggles have raised concern among supporters, and upcoming fixtures are expected to be pivotal in determining their trajectory this season. Now, as we leave the headlines once again. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation has called for a collective and action-oriented approach to address global challenges. The World Bank has pledged support for government's efforts to position Livingstone as a hub of tourism, economic opportunity and cultural pride through the Green Resilient and Transformational Tourism Development Project. The government has suspended operations at Chilanga-based China 11th Chemicals Construction Company Limited and 5 of its subcontractors for failing to comply with regulatory requirements under the labor policies. And in sports news, Lumana Radiance Football Club has confirmed that head coach Belton Musonda has been granted medical leave following the team's challenging start to the National League season. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for watching. My name is Imelda Shukwati. Stay with us.
Sun FM.
A comprehensive coverage of local and national news, business, politics, and sports. The Sun FM News was brought to you by ABSA. Your story matters.
Sometimes life happens, and we all need that extra something to sort things out. Stay ahead, even before payday, with the ABSA Salary Advance. Get a convenient and quick short-term loan, payable in 3 months at an affordable rate. Get the support you need when you need it, and keep your story going. Call 5950 for more details. Terms and conditions apply. Your story matters. ABSA.
The long-awaited MTN Super League is here and is live on Top Star. This is more than football. It's pride, it's rivalry, and it's glory. As Zambia's greatest football